You're listening to the Blues and Arts Hour on 103.9 WYAB, brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi and Small Town Music.
Wash machines on the poles. Taxman called, said he wants some more. Baby, drive me crazy, don't slam the screen door. Baby, drive me crazy, don't slam the screen door. Mississippi mornings come without warning.
It may be tough to believe listening to this, but Bear Ryan wasn't born in Mississippi. In fact, she hasn't been living here for too long.
Hear my mama on repeat, saying diamonds are made from pressure and heat. Reckon that's how my God made me. At least that's how it felt. Down in the buckle of the Bible Belt. Down in the buckle of the Bible Belt. Mississippi mornings come without warning. Slip through the blinds, punch you in the eye. Man, you should have seen the other guy. Mississippi mornings come without warning.
She plays guitars like you might never have seen. They're cigar box style, and she prefers the ones that have just 3 strings. Bear Ryan is the guest on today's Blues and Arts Hour, and she's joined, to use a piece of antiquated colloquial terminology, by her old man, who's also the other half of her band, Ryan Roberts.
And our house won't flood.
So let's talk about your journey. You're in Clarksdale now, but I understand that your journey didn't start there. Where do you come from, Bear?
You could say Austin, Texas. I was there for almost 30 years, and Ryan's originally from there as well, and the surrounding area, this little town called Luling, Texas.
Is that where you were born?
No, I was born in Arlington, Texas, and grew up in Roanoke, Texas, but then I got to Austin around the age of 17.
So how does somebody who has been around a metropolis like Austin, how do you manage to come to Clarksdale?
Oh yeah, it was really just kind of this rumored place by other musicians. Some other musician friends would tour through, and a buddy of mine actually came back to Austin. We were roommates at the time, and he said, "Man, there's this town in Mississippi you got to go check out." I kind of, put a pin in it and was like, okay. But then it was just the timing of it was right when I had discovered R.L. Burnside and Junior Kimbrough. And I started really getting into their music. And then I was like, wait a minute, Holly Springs is real close to Clarksdale. Yeah, so the music I was listening to was kind of coming out of this area. And that's why I finally came and checked it out and fell in love with it.
Okay, so I do want to ask you about the musical influences, and you mentioned R.L. Burnside, and I hear some of that in there in the slide work and in some of that gritty sounding electric guitar and that delta sounding music that's coming from a Texas person. But I do want to ask you first, though, where does the name Bear come from? That's kind of an unusual name, and I think a lot of people probably when they see that first, they're thinking, this is going to be a gritty person.
Yeah, they're usually expecting a big dude. Yeah, it's just a nickname I've had since I was a real little girl, and it's just kind of carried through my whole life, and so I just started going by it, permanently. So there's no great story behind it, honestly.
But it certainly gives you just from the start, the name Bear gives you a kind of I don't know, maybe a unique aura.
Yeah, I hope, everybody has to, you do build a bit of a stage persona, and of course you want to be authentic, and it's authentically my name since I was little, but if it benefits a little intrigue, then that's only a plus,
So adjusting to life in Clarksdale compared to life in Austin, Texas, how does that go?
I mean, obviously it's a huge adjustment, and at the same time it's not. We were actually the past few years, and Ryan for the past couple decades, we were living in Luling, Texas, which is about 50 miles outside of Austin, and it's a real small town of about 5,000. So that adjustment, just kind of being a little bit more rural hasn't been too massive, but everything from Austin's gotten so big that there's no traffic in Clarksdale, and there's no QR codes on the menus. It's just so laid back. I really kind of think that Texas and Mississippi have a lot in common. It's like they're second cousins, but there's a lot different. The food's different. There's different vibes, but.
Yeah, you were mentioning no QR codes on the menus in Clarksdale, and it reminded me that you had a song about the pandemic, and that's where that got such a boost. The whole QR codes thing on the menu.
Yes.
But Mississippi, there were a lot of parts of Mississippi where the pandemic was hardly a thing.
Correct. Whereas the city of Austin completely shut down. And I'm a barber by day, so I got shut down both my day job and my night job as a musician. So it was very strange times for sure. Yeah,
and here we are, and a couple of years past that, maybe 3 years for some people, because
sure.
In 21, a lot of those restrictions went away, and musicians were able to play again. Did you have a lot of musician friends beside yourself who suffered?
Oh, yeah. I mean, every single one of them. We musicians, it was a real strange time because it was like we got wiped off the face of the planet. And at the same time, musicians did what they do, which is pivot and adjust. And, everybody started live streaming, or they went into the studio to record. I mean, musicians are going to make music no matter what. But it was real challenging time to try to make a living. And also some musicians wanted to perform, some didn't. So it was just tricky times.
Well, a fellow Clarksdale resident, Charlie Musselwhite, recorded a Grammy-nominated album during that time.
I cut his hair the other day. I tell Ryan that he's to refer to me only as Charlie Musselwhite's barber from now on. And he's just the kindest guy.
Yeah, Charlie's a great guy, and it must be great having neighbors of that caliber.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah, it's great. And Austin, same thing, but it's just a new kind of exciting because they're new neighbors to me now.
You better run, son. Better run, son. I got a bad old man. Got a bad old man. Get out. Get out while you can. You better run, son. He's seen you sniffing around, driving through my town. He knows that I don't like you. Knows that I don't like you. Need his gun, son. He's gonna do it for fun, and nobody's gonna find you. Nobody's gonna find you. Ain't nobody coming. Ain't nobody wondering. Yeah, where you been?
Coming up on the Blues and Arts Hour, Bear Ryan grew up in Texas, but you'll hear why Mississippians are some of her biggest musical influences. That's coming up on the Blues and Arts Hour on 103.9 WYAB. You're listening to the Blues and Arts Hour on 103.9 WYAB, brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi and Small Town Music. And today you're spending some time with singer-songwriter Bear Ryan of Clarksdale and collaborator Ryan Roberts.
If our love was whiskey, you diamond cup.
Let's talk about your roots, because when I was listening to your music, the first thing that I thought about when I was hearing that stereo electric guitar, that grinding, overdriven sound coming at me from both sides, I thought about Howling Wolf.
Yeah.
I thought
man,
it must be one
nail on the head.
Yeah, I thought it must be one of your influences.
He's kind of the first one where I have this really vivid memory of being 14 years old-ish, and I was studying my Spanish homework in the DFW area. I lived in Roanoke, Texas, and I was listening to the classic rock station, and I think they had a special on the Howlin' Wolf. I'd never heard him before, and I think they, played his song straight for probably a half hour or an hour. And I remember hearing his voice and being like, what is that? And I begged my mom to drive me to the mall so I could find a tape. And I bought the one tape I could find, which was Howlin' Wolf's Greatest Hits. And I probably played it over and over and over for a couple of years. So he was the first artist that I knew was the blues. Because, I was listening to Led Zeppelin and Rolling Stones and all these things, but I didn't understand that was, American blues being regurgitated back to me, Yeah,
it was kind of derivative of the blues.
Yes. And then I heard Howlin' Wolf, and then that led me to John Lee Hooker and Muddy Waters, and then it became, Slim Harpo and T-Bone Walker and all those cats. And then eventually it was the Black Keys, and through the Black Keys I found R.L. Burnside and Junior Kimbrough. Now, R.L. Burnside,
you mentioned him, and I think, he's been influential to a lot of people, including the North Mississippi All-Stars and people of that genre, maybe Wilco some too. But what is it about R.L. Burnside's music that you find so fascinating? Because when I think about Howlin' Wolf, his stuff sounds old-timey, but he was ahead of his time for what he was doing at the time. He recorded Smokestack Lightning. I think it was in stereo at the time, and I don't know if a lot of blues people were recording in stereo.
Right.
And then this guy also... he was a showman of incredible caliber. He would do crazy stuff like climb the curtains at theaters where he played. But R.L. Burnside is more subdued, but he's got he plays that Telecaster, and he's got some of the same kind of grit in his music.
Yeah, for me, R.L. Burnside, I think the thing that really stuck out to me was that drone style, how he can hang on a groove. I find it a lot in the hill country music. There's a deep groove to it and a patience, and there's not a lot of busyness to it. And honestly, that's why Ryan, he's my partner, but he's also my guitar player. And I think the reason we gel together so well is somewhat like R.L. Burnside. He's not all busy all over my stuff. He just kind of hits, we just kind of drone. And to me, that's what the ladies dance to. They're not dancing to guitar solos. They're dancing to a groove. And so that's kind of the best way I can sum it up.
Yeah, the music's got to be groovy. If Ryan wants to chime in on it, Ryan, what is your approach to this kind of guitar playing? I know a lot of these blues players. She was talking about the hill country blues, Bear was, and then I think also about the Bentonia blues, which uses a drone style in D minor tuning. A lot of these blues folks derive their music from just getting into a groove.
After years of playing with Bear, I think most guitar players have egos. The rooster wants to crow the loudest, but with Bear's music specifically, because it is just so root note driven, it's just hanging on the root notes and staying in the pocket and really just echoing the sentiment of the song, because taking big rips at it really just doesn't do anything justice, because it is such a rhythmic thing that stepping too far out of the box, I think, it's less attractive. It's not, for me, it's just not the sound that I see when I listen to it, if that makes any sense.
When Bear crafts a song, what part do you play in that? Do you guys work on it together?
Yeah, often. I mean, she'll usually come up with a concept and it'll float around and be words and talked about forever. And then there'll be this, I would say usually you come up with the words often or the lyrics first, and then kind of the music follows. But sometimes it's both, and sometimes it's the other. So really, I mean, we're always in close proximity to each other. And honest truth is, I wasn't even playing with Bear. I was just building guitars and noodling in the shop one day, and she happened to hear me noodling on one of her songs and came in and said that I was in the band all of a sudden. So
That was your audition.
this was not intentional. I got drawn into this thing, and now I can't get out.
Now, you guys are playing mostly as a duo these days, right?
Correct. Yes.
And it's double electric guitars. You rarely play acoustic, or I haven't really seen a picture of you with an acoustic guitar or heard any music with an acoustic guitar.
Very rarely. I'm actually at home today. I spent a couple hours playing. It's not quite an acoustic. I'm playing my resonator, but 6-string. I like distortion. I like grime. I really love these cigar box guitars that I'm playing because they all have such different sounds and they get kind of crazy. But I listen to tons of acoustic music and I kind of secretly make some of it at home, but mostly on stage. I want to get a little gnarlier.
That's your secret.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned cigar box, and the first picture I think I saw of you with a guitar, I thought of Bo Diddley. Even though you don't play music that sounds like Bo Diddley, it doesn't have that driving kind of rhythm. The guitars look like Bo Diddley's guitars.
Absolutely, yeah. I play 3-string cigar box guitars, and Ryan actually, like he said, he was in his workshop. He builds guitars. He's got a company called Laurel Avenue Guitars. And he started building electric guitars, and then I fell in love with these cigar box guitars. But I'm left-handed, so it's real hard for me to find them, and they're all tuned to unique keys. So he was like, "Well, I guess I'll build you one in every key." And now I've probably got 2 in every key. they're multiplying.
How many guitars do you carry to a gig?
That's an ongoing joke. Probably 8.
Wow.
I used to be a drummer, so I'm used to cumbersome load-ins anyway.
I don't
As
think
a duo we carry more stuff than a 5-piece.
Wow. You say you used to be a drummer. I get the impression that you maybe were not influenced so much by Karen Carpenter, though.
No. More, I would gladly compare myself. Yeah, and Karen Carpenter's amazing. I would gladly compare myself to more like Meg White. Yeah. Simple drumming.
Coming up, family history leads to storied music on the Blues and Arts Hour on 103.9 WYAB. You're listening to the Blues and Arts Hour on 103.9 WYAB. Brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi and Small Town Music. I'm Chris Davis, your host. Sometimes good songs are born out of dark times, and sometimes they're born out of some truths that might not be so pleasant. Today, you're hearing from Bear Ryan, a singer-songwriter, originally from Austin, Texas, and who is now based in Clarksdale, along with her partner and musical collaborator, Ryan Robertson. I want to talk a little bit about the lyrical content. You go pretty deep down and bring up some raw feelings, talk about what I assume is a true family history. Dead man's shoes, granddad taking the shoes off of a dead man at a funeral.
Yeah, that's a true story. That's my grandfather raised 16 kids by himself, and was very poor. And he would go to Irish funerals to get the dead man's shoes because he had 9 boys and himself to put shoes on. And it was always a legend in my family, and then I actually confirmed that it was true. And so, of course, that had to go into a song,
I don't keep a pistol on the shelf. Too nothing I fear more than God-fearing men. Take a dead man's shoes and sell them. Take a dead man's shoes and sell them. If I were a Christian, made in his image, he got red hair, green eyes, and demons inside. If I were a Christian with this sinner's disposition, I know I ain't getting into heaven. I don't keep a pistol on the shelf. No full well I'd use it on myself. I don't need no middleman. Talk to God directly every chance that I can. But,
How do these sentiments trickle down to you whenever you're thinking about writing a song? What part does the family history play? I think just from what I'm hearing, it's pretty heavy.
Yeah, I mean, I would say in all of my songs, they're probably 50% truth and 50% fiction. I've been writing since I was a kid. I just was obsessed with writing, and I come from a family of storytellers. Everybody always has a story to tell. Very Irish, sometimes they get embellished. But usually, I mean, honestly, I usually start with just a hook of a line, and I just thought that the words "dead man's shoes," there was something real haunting about that, and so the song was born of just those words.
You have another one that's got a very John Prine-esque title, and that is "Dead Dog Pandemic Inflation." I don't think I've got that in the right order. Maybe I did.
No, that's correct.
Dead Dog Pandemic Inflation Blues. Okay. That one is really gritty. And when I see the the picture that goes with that on your Bandcamp site, it looks like somebody who has just had it with all the crap that's going on.
Yeah, that song. Well, first of all, I'm a huge John Prine fan, and I definitely, that title is kind of a nod to either John Prine or Bob Dylan, because they have some obtuse song titles. But that song's pretty much a true story. It's from the pandemic. As a result of loss of work in the pandemic, I had to sell my house, and my dog died right the week that I sold my house. And it was so ridiculously such a sad time, and it was literally just almost like a cliche blues song. And so I was like, I'm going to write it down because I can get these feelings out. And so it's a true story, but it just kind of became this dark blues song and helped me process that stuff.
Can't afford to stand on this throne.
Coming up, Bear Ryan addresses whether her family were actually snake handlers. That's coming up on the Blues and Arts Hour on 103.9 WYAB. You've got the Blues and Arts Hour on 103.9 WYAB, brought to you each week by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi and Small Town Music. And this week, it's Bear Ryan, singer-songwriter from Clarksdale. And there was another one that reminds me of a lot of stuff that goes on in Tennessee, North Mississippi, and that is Snake Handler's Daughter. Did you actually have a relative who was a snake handler?
No, that song is purely fiction and just came from my imagination and just kind of had fun with it.
Sun is setting, lightning bugs in my yard. Drinking blueberry wine and catching them in mason jars. Barefoot front porch, wishing on shooting stars. I've been working windows, doing just what I gotta. I've been working windows, times are hard, getting harder. Yeah, red, white, and blue, yeah, here come the cop cars. I got off 'cause I got away with Johnny Long. Yeah, I got off 'cause I got away with Johnny Long. They know that I'm the snake handler's daughter. I move faster on the water. I'm the snake handler's daughter, doing just what I gotta. When the preacher baptized me, must have used muddy water, muddy water, muddy water. Mama was a waitress, daddy he raises snakes. Brother's undertaker, sister she bakes cakes. But oh no, not me, oh no, not me. I get paid, I get paid, I get paid for the way I shake. I get paid for the way I shake. I get paid for the way I shake, way I shake, way I shake. Snake handler's daughter, I move faster on the water. I'm the snake handler's daughter, doing just what I gotta. When the preacher baptized me, supposed to use muddy water, muddy water, muddy water. Sun is setting, lightning bugs in my yard. Drinking moonshine whiskey and catching them in mason jars. Barefoot front porch, wishing on shooting stars.
Prior to the pandemic, I had a 5-piece band, and it was called Red on Yellow, which is a reference to the children's rhyme that says red on yellow, kill a fellow, red on black, friend of Jack. And when you name your band after a snake, the rest of the world sends you pictures of snakes and videos of snakes and gifts of snakes, and which I love. I love snakes, but it was very much in my mind a lot for those years, just everything about snakes. And so then, of course, snake handling comes up, and the song was born. But that's pure fiction.
I never knew anybody who would handle a coral snake, though.
No, you'd be crazy.
What kind of gigs are you guys playing now that you're not in Austin anymore, that you're living in Clarksdale?
I took a break from booking for a second while we made the move, but now we're back at it. So definitely starting to play some local stuff. We may be talking to Mighty Roots Festival, which is happening in Clarksdale in September. That's a really cool festival that I recommend people check out. I'm returning to a lot of the venues that I've played before, and then reaching out to places that are all new to me.
And you are playing the 8 uniquely tuned guitars when you're out. Do you find that you're playing mostly original music, or are you playing crowd pleasers too?
Nope, I play all originals.
All originals, so you're not playing Mustang Sally.
No Mustang Sally. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe someday I'll throw in an original, but life's too short and I got too much to say. So
yeah. So
sorry, cover.
How are you guys being received whenever you're playing original music out in front of Delta audiences and North Mississippi audiences?
Oh man, they're super welcoming and into it. I think we're just different enough that it maybe stands out from the fray. Just similar enough that it makes sense, and just different enough that people come up and say, like, right on, you know?
Yeah, we're not playing the top 20, 12-bar standards that, you know, that are great, that everybody's running out there. But it's so rooted in so much of that it's not dissimilar or off-putting. I mean, we've had great receptions. People are into it because it is a little bit different, but it's not so different. It's like disco, you know, where they're want to run us out of town,
or have a big party where they blow up all the records.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's been great. Everybody's been super cool. Everywhere we've gone, people have been really receptive and into it and supportive. So, and it's, you know, just having, you know, that little bit of taste of the Delta in our sound and her sound, that it's gone a long way to create a new audience for us out here for sure.
Bear, where can people find your music? I found it on the Bandcamp site. Maybe you can direct people there.
Absolutely. It's Bear Ryan, I think it's .bandcamp, and that's where you can listen. You can also download and purchase. I'm also on all of the streaming sites just under Bear Ryan. And then I've got a website, which is bearryanmusic.com.
And Ryan, you build guitars. Do you have time to build guitars for people around here? And if so, where can they put in an order?
My shop is still primarily located in Texas because we moved here without a great plan. So I'm currently in the market looking for shop space to bring all the equipment over, but I am building and doing custom builds, not only cigar boxes, but T styles or S types. I am taking orders, but I am a little bit backed up at the moment, just due to space management ultimately. But we are LaurelAvenueGuitars.com, and we are on Instagram and Facebook probably.
I'll tell you, it's been wonderful talking to both of you, getting to know some people who are no longer strangers here in Mississippi. You guys are now part of the family, so thanks for coming on and talking today.
Hey, thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much.
The Blues and Arts Hour is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield and Small Town Music every Friday morning at 9, right here on 103.9 WYAB.